Right now on Fox 43 Featured, election results. Tuesday's election marked a big win for Democrats across the state and country, what an expert says may have driven the trend. Plus, 2 development companies are looking to bring new life to old buildings in Harrisburg, what one city council member envisions for the projects. And PennDOT says more drivers are on state roads, how Pennsylvania leaders are adjusting to meet current traffic trends. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 Featured. I'm Robert Stover. For the next half hour, we're going to be highlighting some of our top stories of the week, starting with the results from Tuesday's election. Democrats made gains across the board in this week's election, both nationally and here in Pennsylvania. Fox 43's James Corrigan breaks down why this may have happened and to look ahead to what it means for the future.
We thought it would be a good night for Democrats. It turned out to be a great night for Democrats across Pennsylvania.
Franklin and Marshall pollster Burwood Yost says the results from election night displayed a consistent trend across the country of dissatisfaction among voters with the direction of the Trump administration, including the current government shutdown.
Clearly, at this point, there's some concerns about what's happening in Washington, I think, and the policies that have been implemented. And so the real test will be whether we see any changes in those policies that might affect the results of the midterm.
I think this was a complete rejection of the chaos of the Trump administration.
Pennsylvania Democratic Party Chair Eugene DePasquale says any concerns over the enthusiasm of Democrats coming into the election were quickly quelled by the results.
What had worried me going into this was, would our base be dispirited? Would they show up? And I think there's a lot of Democrats that have some wind in their sails and say, oh, I'm not alone in this. It's not just me who's frustrated.
The Democratic wins were across the board in Pennsylvania, winning a judicial seat in Dauphin County for the first time since 1991 and in Cumberland County for the first time since at least World War II, and carried the Supreme Court retention election with more than 60% of the vote. Pennsylvania Republican Party Chair Greg Rothman remained steadfast in a statement, saying, quote, "Yesterday's election results were certainly not what we wanted, but if the choice is to fight or run, we will always choose to stand and fight. Today is the first day of the 2026 election, and we have work to do." DePasquale acknowledged the same, saying that winning in 2025 does not necessarily mean winning in 2026.
But we still have a lot of work ahead of us. We're going to have a tough re-election for the governor and lieutenant governor. We know it's very popular, but we've got to make sure we're running on Pennsylvania solutions to Pennsylvania problems.
Now, when it comes to 2026, Yost says a lot will depend on what is happening in Washington and if the dissatisfaction continues for whether we could see a repeat of this year. Of course, Governor Josh Shapiro will be up for re-election, along with 4 Republican incumbents in Congress who are set to face competitive races. As for this year, Democrats will take their wins following their defeat in 2024 as they look to keep that momentum going into next year. And of course, we have extensive lists of election results on fox43.com. James Corrigan, Fox 43 News.
Well, Franklin and Marshall College has announced it's offering free tuition to low-income students from Pennsylvania. F&M says it's part of its newly launched Commonwealth Commitment Initiative. The school says students that come from households that make an income under $75,000 could qualify for free tuition. They are also lowering tuition for in-state students with a household income between $75,000 and $150,000. F&M says it's part of their goal to make education accessible to students regardless of their background. And proposal to install a citywide surveillance camera system in York has been voted down, ending 5 years of preparation and debate. The plan faced pushback from residents and council members over privacy concerns and a lack of clear safeguards. The proposal would have installed 140 cameras across York, expanding on the city's current 5-camera system. Police Commissioner Michael Muldrow says the goal was to make surveillance more balanced across neighborhoods, not just in high-crime areas.
And the original plan was to provide locations in hot spots, but I also know that tends to lead to criminalization of certain populations, the poor, the downtrodden, black and brown areas of the community.
Muldrow says despite the vote, police will continue using the limited cameras they have and remain committed to protecting the community with the tools available. City Council members say they're open to revisiting the proposal if stronger oversight and privacy protections are included in the future. And in Dauphin County, 2 development companies are looking to give new life to buildings no longer being used in Harrisburg. Fox 43's Milena Brown shares how one city council member envisions the projects promoting area growth and what some residents want to see moving forward.
In Harrisburg, the former Polyclinic Hospital in Uptown and a 22-story building on Market Street downtown sit empty, but soon could be turned into several housing units if the city council approves the plans. This week, the council heard proposals from Harristown Development Corps and Penmark Management Company, both looking to build units that rent at market value. While some members raise concern over affordability, others believe it's what the city needs.
We do have a need for low-income housing, but we also have a need for the city at large for market rate housing. This is something that will be a huge benefit for the city of Harrisburg as far as revenue coming in, as far as taxes.
Lamont Jones, the Public Safety Committee chair, shared with me that the Polyclinic Hospital proposal would bring in $700,000 in tax revenue alone. He also believes it's in a prime location.
You got off-street parking, you have a mixed-use building, something that's also needed because we have a walkable city. And I think that will connect to the corridors from 3rd, 4th, and Front Street.
Which is what drew some residents to the area.
That's why this area is so delightful, is the mixed use and the way it draws a real diverse crowd together.
Like many other Harrisburg residents I spoke with, Karen Rhodes lives comfortably in the city, especially after living in Washington, D.C.
While some people here within the Harrisburg city limits share that they do feel like it's affordable to live here, they would like to see some more housing options for the people that want to move here.
I'm a little concerned about just single room occupancy because you also want families. If you could mix in that would be, I think, more desirable.
I asked Jones about getting more people to the area, and he shared that the city has to continue providing opportunities for growth and expansion.
In order for someone to live in a place of value and affordable, right, we have to make sure that they can work and earn the money to go out and live into these properties.
The city council is expected to vote on the proposals at their next executive session. Milena Brown, Fox 43 News.
State and local officials came together with PennDOT this week to mark the end of the main construction season. Officials marked the occasion by announcing the completion of the Centersville Road Interchange Improvement Project and Centerville Road Widening Project in Lancaster County. PennDOT says there were about 100 active projects in the region, with 53 being finished this year. Construction projects that were also finished this season were in Adams, Cumberland, Dauphin, and other counties.
It's very exciting. This project itself, from inception to where we're at today, there were a lot of challenges that the whole construction team from PennDOT, the consultants, the township, the contractor, it's amazing what they're able to do.
By the end of this year, 43 projects will be bid out with an estimated value of $270 million. And state transportation leaders say more people are violating school bus safety laws. Now, that's according to results of the one-day Operation Safe Stop announced on Monday by state officials. More than 188 violations were witnessed, up from 176 reported last year. School districts and law enforcement agencies around Pennsylvania team up to document violations, emphasizing the frequency and highlighting the importance of driving safely around students.
The bottom line is that every incident involves a risk to a school-aged child. This is not acceptable. Now just imagine how many incidents go unreported, and that should give you an idea of why we are here today.
The school bus stopping law requires drivers approaching a school bus with red flashing lights to stop at least 10 feet from the bus. The first penalty includes a $250 fine and a 60-day license suspension. Well, nobody likes getting stuck in traffic, and a new study shows that more people across the country are going bumper to bumper than ever before. Fox 43's Jacob Hitz breaks down the numbers and shares how PennDOT is trying to keep people moving on the roads.
Before we start our cars to get to work or school, this is where the magic happens when it comes to traffic in South Central PA. It's the Eastern Regional Traffic Management Center, inside the Pima building in Susquehanna Township, Dauphin County.
It's an area within our district here in South Central Pennsylvania where we can monitor traffic congestion, delays, construction, whatever might be happening out on our roads with close to 200 cameras.
Traffic management specialists work around the clock, relying on cameras and other tools to monitor any traffic issues.
They can listen to scanners, they can get calls from the state police or local police. We can talk to towing companies, and really all it is about managing traffic.
Now, our area may not be a hotbed for bumper-to-bumper traffic like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, but the latest urban mobility report from Texas A&M University shows we're spending more time in slowdowns. For drivers in the Harrisburg area, we spent more than 15 million hours stuck in traffic last year. The report shows that's our busiest area. Over in Philly, it's a total of over 200 million hours in traffic. What changed? PennDOT says the ability to work from home has made some big changes on the roads.
I think since COVID happened and people went to hybrid schedules, a lot of companies, a lot of state agencies were able to go to a hybrid schedule. That changes things in terms of every day having the same amount of traffic, but we still call it rush hour because there still is a decent amount of traffic out there. It's just going to depend on the day.
There are several things that cause traffic to slow down, from construction to the weather, or even too many vehicles on the same stretch of highway. And as we get close to the busy holiday season, PennDOT officials say you may want to plan now to avoid those peak travel times, both before and after Thanksgiving.
Then maybe adjust the time of day that you leave, or your expectations of, oh, it only takes me 3.5 hours to get there. Now it's going to take you 4.5 hours to get there because there's extra traffic, and just get your mindset for that.
Now, there are resources that you can use to help figure out how things are going on the roads, and we've talked about this before. It's called 511pa.com. You can see the same traffic cameras that those specialists rely on. We use them here as well, and you can find alerts on things like construction or crashes, so that way you can plan ahead. I'll have a link to 511pa as well as the full urban mobility report on FOX43.com. Jacob Hitz, Fox 43 News.
Pumpkin spice lattes are all the rage during the fall season, and too many can be a problem. What experts say you should know before ordering another one in this week's Health Smart Report. Well, sales for pumpkin spice lattes are still going strong into November. However, experts say before you take your daily trip to the coffee shop, there are a few things you should know about the popular drink. Fox 43's Amy Lutz explains in this week's Health Smart Report.
They may taste like fall, but pumpkin spice lattes pack a lot more than just cozy fall flavors.
Well, part of it is because it's pumpkin, right? We think of pumpkin, it's like a vegetable, it's a root, and it's relatively healthy for you when you eat pumpkin. So that, I think, derivative of that, people are like, hey, this is going to be just as good for me because it comes from pumpkins.
Dr. Saqib Siddiqui is a cardiologist with WellSpan Health. He says that sugar adds up fast. Some medium or large pumpkin spice lattes can have up to 60 grams of sugar, or about 15 teaspoons.
So, once in a while, it's delicious. Everybody should have one. It's about the consistent use and doing it, drinking it every single day. It's the fats that come with it and the sugar that come with it that are not good for you.
Doctors say too much sugar can raise blood pressure, cholesterol, and inflammation, all of which can hurt heart health.
The way that I think of sugar is basically it's tearing up your blood vessels and kind of leaving these potholes in your blood vessels, which then build plaque on them. So the less sugar you have in your body, the better.
Hi there, welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you?
So if you're like any of my friends and you still need that pumpkin spice fix, Dr. Siddiqui suggests ordering smaller sizes, using plant-based milk, skipping the whipped cream, and asking for half the syrup instead. So enjoy your pumpkin spice treat, just maybe not every day. Everything in moderation. With your Health Smart Report, Amy Lutz, Fox 43 News.
A couple is raising awareness about pediatric cancer funding, how they're walking to Washington, D.C. to get their point across. A couple is walking from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. to raise awareness about cuts to pediatric cancer funding. Fox 43's Kyle Ennis caught up with them as they crossed through York County and has details of their fight for children and their future.
This power couple is power walking 180 miles with purpose.
If I gotta crawl, I mean that. Through glass, on fire. I mean that.
Grandparents Keith and Latanya Morrison are trekking from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C., determined to stop cuts to pediatric cancer research and treatment funding. No hill is as steep as the reason behind every step forward.
To walk past that room, to look at that place at the dinner table and see that they're gone. 10 years.
The Morrisons' grandson Ahmad lost his battle with cancer at just 6 years old. Through busy neighborhoods, large highways, and cornfields, the couple keeps moving.
The tears are gone. No more feeling sorry for myself. I'm going to do what they have showed me and taught me every step of the way.
Keith has been battling his own cancer for 6 years. Their daughter Sierra drives alongside, honking, cheering, and delivering snacks and water.
Good job, y'all. Way to go. I admire everything they do for me. I admire their willpower. It's amazing.
And with every mile, they carry the memory of Ahmad Butler.
He was just amazing. He could do everything, his personality, his spirit. He just was amazing. I just know that he's looking down and he's just proud.
The Morrisons are not stopping, no matter the hurdles ahead.
I had the experience of seeing the person that I loved more than anything in this world look at me and say, Grandma, why do I have to die? I heard his aspirations. I heard his goals. I knew he couldn't live it out. I owe it to him.
Kyle Ennis, Fox 43 News.
Hershey-based brewery Trogs is bringing back its Perpetual Giving campaign this year. Amid the food crisis across the country, Trogs is partnering with Feeding Pennsylvania to donate some proceeds from the sales of their Perpetual IPA to local food pantries across the state. The Perpetual is the best-selling craft beer in PA, and the company says the campaign has resulted in about 160,000 meals donated since its inception 3 years ago. And a Lancaster County teen is working to improve accessibility in his community for those with disabilities. In this week's On the Bright Side, a look at the organization that's helping him achieve that. A Lancaster County teen is working to make his community accessible to everyone. In this week's On the Bright Side, Fox 43's Gabrielle Mediak takes us to an organization helping him on his mission of inclusion.
Cameron Hill is a senior at Cocalico. He wants to go into business and economics after he graduates.
I find it interesting to work with money and stocks.
But right now, the 17-year-old's goal is to help make places more accessible to everyone.
So I started a project my freshman year trying to raise awareness in the community for accessibility. And then I was presenting to different business groups, opted into the Chamber in Lancaster, the effort of Better Business Bureau.
He's now teamed up with United Disability Services, a group in Lancaster which helps seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities lead more independent lives.
So my end goal is to find a business that I can help become accessible. It doesn't have a ramp or a stair lift or something like that.
He's one of 25 students who visited to see what they bring to the table.
Helping them understand what we do, how they might be able to get involved, maybe even eliminating the stigma tied to our aging community and or individuals with disabilities is absolutely fundamental to what we're doing as an organization and ultimately what they can do to impact our community as well.
Their visit also included some help from Four-Legged Friends, which students were already familiar with.
Cocalico Middle School had a dog named Digby that was from UDS that helps a lot of students that are stressed or have autism. It helps them navigate their day and just make it more comfortable for them.
The therapy dogs are among 15 services that UDS provides across Pennsylvania.
It may be mobility equipment, it may be a service dog, it may be employment opportunities. Sometimes it's little things that help them to live a very independent and fulfilling life, and they're active, fulfilled members of our community.
It makes me feel good and happy that there's programs around us to help students like that and to help people with disabilities in our community.
Oh, those dogs just put a smile on your face, don't they? Cocalico Middle School has already implemented a second therapy dog as well through UDS. If you'd like to learn more about the program or volunteer opportunities, you can just head on over to FOX43.com. And as always, if you've got a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. On the bright side, I'm Gabrielle Mediac.
And with Thanksgiving just a few weeks away, businesses are already getting into the holiday spirit. Riverside Subs out of Wrightsville, York County, stopped by the Fox 43 kitchen this week to show us November's special sandwich. This is the Gobbler. The sandwich comes with turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and a new addition this year, sweet potatoes, all layered on a sub roll. We have more information on the Gobbler and Riverside Subs right now on FOX43.com. And that's going to do it for Fox 43 Featured. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Have a good one.